Welcome to another episode of the Movie Brothers. I didn't kill my teacher. Sorry, y'all. A little flashback there. I'm Ant, a.k.a. Bruce Kelly, student of Dragonfly Jones, at your service. If you haven't figured it out by now, I'll go ahead and tell you. This is our very special Halloween episode. And you are, sir.
My name is George Lando Jefferson Lucas the Fourth.
Okay.
I am the fifth cousin, 3 times removed from George Lucas, and he is the creator of the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm mad, Ant.
Why are you mad, sir?
I'm mad because I'm hearing word that people are wanting to boycott this film, the Star Wars,
Why?
The Force Awakens, that opens on December the 18th. They want to boycott this movie because they feel like it's not enough white faces in it. It's too many brothers and sisters representing in the Star Wars universe now. And that is just absurd to me. Because for 30 some odd years, they have had Star Wars on lockdown. The only brothers and sisters we've ever had in a Star Wars movie were Lando Calrissian, Billy D. Williams, and Mace Windu, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Okay? Mm-hmm. One of them turned out to be kind of a fraud, and the other one died. So you tell me how fair that is. And now you want to complain about John Boyega, Lupita Nyong'o, okay, Daisy Ridley, okay? You feel like it's not enough white men in this movie. That is ridiculous. So I guess you gonna go ahead and boycott. Here's my advice. Go ahead and do it. Stay away. Don't come see it. But if you say that you boycotted, you gonna be lying. Because what you gonna do is you gonna say you didn't go, but you gonna go check it out on the down low, because that's what cowards do. So, pay your $10, say you didn't see it, enjoy it like the rest of us are gonna do, and may the force be with your dumb self.
Run, tell that. Okay. There you have it. So today we are reviewing the film Carter High for you today, which is actually maybe pretty fitting because there's some frightening things going on in this film, which we'll get into a little bit later. But yes, this film is rated PG-13, has a runtime of 1 hour and 50 minutes. It's a drama, a sport-themed film. It's about the true story of the 1988 Carter High School football team that went on to state, and we'll get into kind of what all of the craziness that happened through the course of their season.
Okay, let me get back into character, Ant.
Okay.
Okay. This movie was directed by Arthur Muhammad. I am not familiar with anything that Arthur Muhammad has ever directed before, but he did direct this film. The movie stars Charles Dutton, Vivica Fox, Pooch Hall, and David Banner makes a surprise guest appearance in this film.
Yes.
In a fairly prominent role.
Yes.
What do you say we jump into it?
Let's jump into this thing. So,
Okay.
this film is supposed to be about, this a cautionary tale, really, and I'll tell you why. Because, this is the Carter High School football team. This team, through the course of their season, dealt with a bunch of UIL issues and, accusations of fraud and students not being eligible to play that actually played. And ultimately, the team ended up getting disqualified and getting their state championship ripped from them. Mm-hmm. But even, let's go a step further, some of the kids on the team got into some criminal activity and actually ended up serving prison time, which, man, I mean, that's a lot of meat on the bone in terms of telling the story.
Right.
But we don't exactly get that.
You know what, and I feel like it was actually too much meat on the bone for them to tackle within one film. To me, there were 2 separate stories going on that could have merited 2 individual films.
Mm-hmm.
The first of which was the actual ride to the championship that the Carter football team went on.
Yes.
Okay. And all the teams that they had to defeat, it would have been much more in the vein or in line with, say, Friday Night Lights,
mm-hmm.
or something along those lines. They could have told that story, and also could have told a separate story about those actual football players who decided to take a wrong turn and get into some criminal activity that landed them in jail.
Yeah.
That to me would have made more sense as two separate films rather than trying to mash them together in one big film, which really was an example of just trying to do too much, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would think it would have been better suited for two separate films that were fully developed in that particular way.
No, I disagree from that standpoint because I don't think you needed to have two separate films. I'm fine with the length. I think there's enough content to have a 2-hour film here. You could have done that. You just needed a much better script than what was delivered here, okay? There's only one word, Kev, that I can use to describe the filmmaking process for Carter High, and it's lazy. That's the only word I can come up with because there's some stuff that happens that's just so grossly negligent. That's the only word I can come up with, and let's talk about some of these things.
Right.
The film is set in 1988. Why are there too many scenes to count to where the characters aren't dressed for 1988?
Right.
They're wearing brands and stuff that is 2013, 2014, like
Right.
Starter and stuff like that, which Starter did exist back then, but the logo didn't look like, if you notice on some of the shirts that the kids are wearing, it didn't look like the way that they look now, okay? Was there a problem finding extras to shoot this film?
It must have been.
This is a 5A school, which in Texas, that's
huge.
that's a really big school. And if this is as big as a football team as it was, and it's a pep rally going on, why are there like 20 people in the auditorium for the pep rally?
Very tight shot. Okay?
Yes, everything's tightly shot.
20 football players on a team that probably consisted of about 100 to 150, okay? And all of a sudden, you want to show me something that looks like it was filmed in a closet, okay?
Yes.
It makes absolutely
No
no
sense
sense to me.
I'm gonna keep going. We got this thing, black men. We got this thing called the Beijing. For y'all don't know, brothers, that sometimes they get their hair colored in. It's basically black dye to kind of fill in, so you got a really sharp, very tight hairline. Why are brothers in this film with Beijings, Kev? You didn't have. Now I live in Dallas now, but I ain't from Dallas. But I'm pretty sure brothers wasn't wearing no Beijings in 1988.
I never saw one, and I'm from here.
Okay, David Banner. Got no problem with David Banner. I do have a problem with David Banner's 2-inch goatee, and he's playing not characters, this is a real person, Royce West, senator. Back then he was a lawyer, but I'm pretty sure attorney Royce West didn't have a 2-inch long goatee in the courtroom.
The only thing
Really?
The only thing he was missing was some gold fronts.
Man, all I can say is hell no. Bad all the way around, kid.
Yeah. Boring is another word that I would give for this film. I mean, it's an hour and 50 minutes long, and it feels like it is 2 hours and 50 minutes long. Things don't happen in a way that you would expect them to happen. It's like they had a checklist of everything they felt like needed to be covered in the film, and we're just going to do that. Never mind whether or not it melds or blends together with any other scenes in the film. That doesn't matter. All we need to know is that this comes first, this comes next, this comes after that, and that's the way the film was shot. That's the way it comes across to me. The editing is poor. Everything about this movie across the board just seems to be, like you said, lazy.
Let's talk about the acting. Bottom line, I'm not exaggerating. This is some of the worst acting maybe that I've ever seen. It is awful. Charles Dutton. I'm a fan of Charles Dutton. He's a very talented individual in front of the camera as well as behind the camera, and I've seen some great work that he's done, but not in this film. He's playing the coach, okay? And I don't know if the director or whatever, they told him to channel Rock, the 1990-something show that he used to be on, right, where he was the garbage man. And every scene, y'all, is like this. He's talking like this. I've been busting my butt for 10 years, guys. Every scene? Really?
Yeah, he sounds like the black Jimmy Durante.
It's awful. Vivica Fox. I love you, Vivica Fox. You're a beautiful woman. I think you're very talented. I do think you need some quality material, baby, because what they got you playing in this film ain't it.
No.
It ain't it. And I'm like, we know you from Set It Off, okay? We
would
know
give
the talent.
anything for you to go back to something like that.
Please, man.
But
Please.
that requires F. Gary Gray or somebody of his talent level as well behind the camera.
Somebody get this woman some talented material, some quality material that she can work with, so she can shine once again and be the star that I know that she can be.
Right.
All right. I'm not all the way around. This movie is a mess. Kev? You got anything else, man? You want to hit on before we wrap this sucker up?
Oh man, the acting sucked. Okay, the direction was uninspired. Character development suffered and was almost non-existent. You get little feeling, you develop little feeling or empathy for any of the characters.
Yeah, no development.
What they ultimately end up going through. So when they do go to prison for the things that they've done, and that's not a spoiler. Okay, so when they do go to prison for the things that they've done, you don't feel anything for it. You don't feel sad. You don't feel, sympathetic for them at all. You're just glad that at an hour and 50 minutes, this thing is over with. There is a character in this film that,
oh my gosh, I already know where you're going with this.
There's a character in this film that is supposed to represent some just little nerd, stock kind of stereotypical character, Steve Urkel type character, and it is a joke. Whenever he's on the screen, whenever he's given dialogue to speak, it is just horrific. All right.
So out of context.
Yeah, it takes all of the pathos, all of the seriousness,
credibility,
out of the scene, the credibility,
seriousness.
It all dies right then and there, and it never recovers from it. So, and what do you say we go ahead and put some points on this?
Please, let's put some points on this thing. So, look, y'all. Bottom line, and I'm not trying to be nasty or anything like this, but this is a show where we bring you nothing but the real on the real. This film is a hot ass mess, okay? It's awful. I cannot recommend it to anybody. I give this film a 3 out of 10.
And I'm just going to say what he said, okay?
Okay.
Say what he said. This movie gets a 3 from me as well, okay? It does not deserve anything more. That's it.
Yeah. And the last thing, bottom line, look, you got a great story here, and you got some folks with very little talent that got their hands on it and totally effed it up. This kind of crap gotta stop, right? We got wonderful, great stories that need to be told and should be told, but find the talent. And I don't even want to hear no stuff about, oh, I can't afford this person and that person. You got folks shooting full movies on iPhones that are talented, bringing quality material, that got the skills to do it. Hire those folks so they can tell our story the right way and the way that it needs to be done.
Hit up these colleges and universities. Go to these RTF programs. There will be people there who are doing good work, wanting to learn, wanting to better their craft, wanting to study their craft and pay tribute to it. Those are the people that you need to find.
That's right.
Not everybody needs to be behind the camera.
All right, I'm done. Please check out our website, themoviebrothers.com.
Or you can follow us on Twitter at The Movie Brothers.
And subscribe to this channel or else, okay? We are The Movie Brothers. I'm Ant. This is Kev. This is the place, the one and only place where we bring you nothing but the real on the real. Peace.